I heard you on Chad's show yesterday, and I agree with you. I don't think it's likely, but there is a path to 3-3. And there is. I don't think it's likely. If I had to bet money, which is what I bet a few months ago, I'd bet that they go 1-4 and then 2-4.
Mm-hmm.
Okay, but they could beat the Bears, in my opinion. They could beat the Giants, and then if they don't beat the Dolphins, they should just quit.
Right. Well, I said if they do go 3-3, JP, fans will start grasping a little bit.
Well, I actually think there's a stretch there where it doesn't get that hard.
Because the schedule is obviously tough early, then there's a break, and then it gets tough late. But you go 3-3.
I
think they're going to make the playoffs at 3-3.
No, they're not going to make the playoffs either way.
Yeah.
But
I agree. I think
there is a path to 3-3. Don't you agree?
I do. I think, not to put too much pressure on a Week 3 game, but you got to beat the Bears. It's your only chance. I'll go a step further. That I don't think the playoffs are happening. I
agree.
I think getting to 3-3 is your chance at getting to respectability.
Yes.
Back to that 7-9, 8-8 kind of
Agreed.
watermark that they've hit the last few years. I think if you don't beat the Bears, then you're really starting to look at somebody's getting fired before we get to Halloween.
Right,
so I think for the coaching staff, this is a big game because I think there hasn't been an in-season coordinator firing in a long time. Jay Gruden's never done it. It didn't happen during the Shanahan era. It's been a long time. That said, I think ownership, I think Dan Snyder would get so angry if they go 0-3, and then I honestly think if they go 0-3, then losing to the Giants in the Meadowlands becomes a possibility.
Well, that's what I was going to say. If they lose to the Giants, if they lose to the Bears and then lose to a rookie quarterback, then you're definitely going to see some moves.
Absolutely. And we got to remind ourselves what this Skins team has been. I could see them beating the Bears and then losing to the Giants. Or I could see them,
yeah, of course.
Is the ultimate Redskins scenario that they beat the Patriots and lose to the Dolphins?
Well, that ain't
Something
gonna
like
happen.
that?
Come on.
That's not going to happen. That's
not going to happen. But I could see them beating the Bears in a close, like 13-10 game and then losing to the Giants. Could totally see that.
Yeah. But, Bickle, I'm with you, man. I do think there's a chance to get to 3-3. And then from there, I think is when we would see some of these frustrating losses come in where they lose at home to the Jets or something, and then that's how you finish the year and you get to 7-9.
What's the first domino? Let's just say they lose the next two, which is also very possible, right? So they're at 0-4, and then after that they have what, the Patriots?
Patriots come
Which is guaranteed loser. Maybe you wait till you go 0-5, then you blow everybody out. I don't know. But does Manusky go first? Is Manusky tied to Tom Sula? Is that what's keeping him around, or do they just get rid of all of them? As you say, I don't think they've done that since they brought in Rabisky.
You can't get rid of multiple coaches.
Sure you can.
Someone's got to coach the team.
Right.
Well, who are you going to bring in if you fire the entire defense staff?
Or something. Lost season.
Somebody from inside.
You're not answering my question.
I
If you
don't know.
fire the entire
I don't mean the entire staff. The guys on the hot seat are Jay and Manusky. Those are the two guys on the hot seat.
But I'm one on the defensive staff. It's only going to be Manusky.
But
maybe
Tom Sula
guys.
seems to be weirdly tied to him.
Yeah.
Right. The concern is that Tom Sula came back because of Manusky and that he would leave if Manusky gets fired. Honestly, if you get to 0-5, on some level, what difference does it make? I know the young defensive linemen love Jim Tom Sula, but if you're 0-5 and your season's shot and they feel that you've got to make a change at D coordinator, I don't know that Tom Sula would leave in season because he's also really close with those players he's coached now for 3 years. But I think if Manusky goes, I think you've got Ray Horton might be your leading candidate. You could also go with Rob Ryan. If Tom Sula stays, you could try to promote him, but I know that he wouldn't want to have to deal with kind of the media obligations that come with being the D coordinator. They have experienced guys on that staff, but, I think a lot of this, you can go back all the way to Jay's first year when he hired Joe Barry over Wade Phillips. Mm-hmm. Jay Gruden has, whether he's done this on purpose, and I would think he probably has, he has hired guys that do not fit the profile of potential head coaches as his defensive coordinators.
Right.
And in a way that gives him a little bit of protection that, hey, you're not going to fire the head coach to make that guy the head coach, because certainly you're not going to make Greg Manusky the head coach at this point. Now, maybe you could go with, Bill Callahan and Kevin O'Connell gets promoted, and then you look at like a Browns scenario where it was, it was Greg Williams for a year and then Freddie Kitchens gets the job. That wouldn't shock me if that kind of thing happened in D.C., and you're looking at Kevin O'Connell next year. But
I keep asking, JP, can Jay fire Manusky himself? Could he do it after, say they lose this week? Can Jay fire him himself?
I think he can. I don't think he would.
You don't think he will? Are they tight?
I don't know that they're tight, but I think they work together well. And, I mean, Jay hired him and kept him on. Think about, we know who was calling in Todd Bowles for the interview. It wasn't Jay Gruden. And we know who was flirting with Greg Williams. It wasn't Jay Gruden. I don't know that Jay wanted to make a big-name replacement at D coordinator. I think he likes having Manusky there, somebody that he doesn't have to look over his shoulder towards.
Mm-hmm.
So I don't know that. I know that I think a lot of the AP situation is Jay's extreme frustration with the front office. And I think there are lots of little squabbles like that all over that building right now. But if Jay wanted to get rid of his D coordinator, you would think he has the autonomy to do so.
Right.
Yeah.
Seems like he's laying the foundation.
I think if that move happens, it's coming from higher up.
Yeah. All right. Thank you, JP. Could talk to you longer, but we're just running out of time. Thank you, buddy.